Our next guest is an old friend, and you know her as well as I do. Our guest now, County Commissioner Karen Keith. Karen, good to have you.
Hey Sam, good to see you,
Good to
even if
see
it's on a
you.
screen. Thank you.
You've been out of the country, haven't you?
Yes, yes, we were in Norway and we actually got to see the Northern Lights. I was a big skeptic that it would actually happen, but we did, and the pictures were amazing.
Well, there's supposed to be a big comet show tonight.
Mm,
I don't know if it's going to be. Usually, when we have a comet show and they give us a heads up, it's too cloudy to see anything.
right. Yeah, yeah. We actually, when we were watching the Northern Lights, we also had a shooting star and up. So we were, we were up in Tromso, and so it felt like it was right by our faces. It was so incredible seeing that star come through. Yeah.
Well, glad you're back safely. Listen, a
Thank
couple
you.
of things I want to get into with you.
Okay.
Do you mind if we open the discussion on civility?
We sure can. Sure. Let's talk about it.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't think in my lifetime
Mhm.
I have seen the lack of civility in public service as we're getting right now. Where's it coming from? What's it tied to?
Mhm. Well, I think people get so caught up in their silos from where they get their information, and they are not hearing all sides of any argument. It's really true for the far left and the far right. And we've just got to we have to start finding common ground. It's just absolutely, we have to do that to get things done. This isn't about the idea that all I want to do is stop any kind of forward momentum. Um, because I just want to show that we're stronger than you. This is about, if you're a public servant, you need to be doing the work to get things done. And I loved Senator Inhofe. He yesterday was talking about the relationships that he had across the aisle, and he understood that that was important. It was part of what he needed to do as a public servant. And he understood that. And, he did a whole lot for the state. And he was able to accomplish that because he had relationships across the aisle.
You know, many years ago, when you and I both worked at Channel 2, uh,
Yeah.
I did a mini documentary on Carl Albert.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we met in Little Dixie, which is
I'm so
where he's
jealous you
from.
got to do that, by the way.
Pardon?
I'm so jealous you got to do that.
Oh,
Go
this will
ahead. I'm
thrill me to
sorry.
death. But he said, he stressed a couple of times to me how important it was to be able to extend a hand of friendship or ask for help or lend help across the aisle. He said, we've just got to do it if, uh, if the country is going to survive. And that was years back.
Oh, and he would be blanching at what's going on now.
Yeah.
This would be very hard on him. But it's just not good for anybody. We're just so polarized, and so I'm hopeful that we're going to see more elected officials come online that are more down the middle and just focused on doing the work. This isn't about parties. It really isn't, and it's about how do we do the best things for our citizens, and that's what we need to be focused on. Everything else just needs to go away, and let's just do the work.
Get the job done. Let's
Yep.
jump to another topic. The completion and opening of the Gilcrease Expressway.
Uh-huh.
You pleased?
Yes.
You pleased with that? I would assume.
Oh, it is a beautiful facility. It really, Sam, it's if you drive it, when you get on the bridge and you look towards downtown Tulsa, it's almost as if it frames the downtown. It's absolutely beautiful. And where they've got walking trails that go
Hmm.
north to south on it, and they actually connect to Chandler Park. They did it right. I thank the Turnpike Authority. And I'm really grateful to them because the people in Berry Hill really spoke up about how the impacts how they would be affected, and they worked very hard to bring down the cost of the turnpike along the first leg of it. And I really thank Tim Gatz and his team for working on that. And really, the board is the one who had to sign off on that. So the trust authority with the Turnpike Authority. So anyway, it's just, but it's a beautiful facility. I
It
hope
is.
people will
A lot
use
of,
it.
lot of
Yes,
hand holding involved there. A lot of folks joined hands and made it happen
yes.
and did a
Yeah, I
great
mean, it
job.
was a model. It required, I mean, of course, OTA did all the work. I mean, they're the big umbrella, but INCOG was a huge factor in getting this done. And the city of Tulsa, all the right of way that they secured. Tulsa County had a smaller uh, piece in that, and ODOT. It was. I remember the previous secretary said he called it all the colors of money. But this thing has been on the books, for 60 years,
Sure.
and it'd be on there for another 60 years trying to get it done had we not all worked together to make it happen.
Karen, I'm sorry, Commissioner, I,
Karen,
yeah,
Aaron,
future.
sorry, you've known me too long. No worries.
Are you pleased with the levee situation?
Yes, I mean the work, they have to do all of this work. There's some environmental issues that are going to have to be taken care of, and I think we're going to see that there's going to be some escalating costs. So the federal delegation is aware of that. We'll go back to them, and I anticipate that they will help us. And of course, if the federal dollars go up, then our local match will mirror that. But we have 30 years to pay it back. Um, and so but yes, I think everybody is Corps of Engineers, contractors that are working on it, our levee district. Um, Everybody's working really hard to get things moving. We hope to break ground this coming spring.
I want to ask you to elaborate just a bit. Because I'm going to jump back here
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Okay.
I read with great interest
Yeah.
Jim Inhofe's remarks as
Hmm.
he's stepping away.
Yes.
He's leaving, and Lord
Yes.
knows he's been involved in a lot of fracases along the way. But at the same time, he's also embraced a lot of things that folks didn't quite understand at the time that later
Yeah.
proved to be invaluable to the voters that put him there in the first place. And I think that goes back to and speaks directly of common ground. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes. I mean, the senator was, our first and big advocate for getting these levies done. And without that, we wouldn't be here. We would not be here. And fortunately, when Representative and then Senator Langford, he got on board, and then Congressman Hearn has also been helpful. So our federal delegation has really been hands-on on this issue. And Mark Wayne Mullen, Congressman Mullen, has also been a huge help. And they've all walked the levees. I think Cole is the only one that we haven't, forced to come do that. So, but we would not be here without their help. And we certainly wouldn't have got the full funding without them. I can tell you that for sure.
Commissioner Karen Keith, I want you to know that we are very grateful for the time you've given us. We're out of time and
Okay.
would ask you to consider coming back down the road.
I love to come see you. So I'm sorry. Today's just kind of a crazy day. Most of them are kind of crazy, but it's good. But
That's
it's always
great.
good to see you. So please take care, and thanks to your crew.
All right. Thank you very much,
All right.
Commissioner.
All
We'll,
right.
we'll talk
See ya.
again down the road. And
Okay.
that's all
Thanks,
the
Amy.
time we have right now for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.